I don't have a framework within which to think about something, it just becomes like too much, right?
Right.
So the framework that I use for stressors, I think parents have a really, really kind of fun but important role to play in kind of understanding their kids, because we're the ones on the, like, we see them, we know them so intimately, to analyze their stressors. And so the framework that I use for that and that I wrote about in my book was that there's three categories: social, environmental, and biological. And we can, I'll tell you what those are in a second, but what we can do as parents is kind of scan them. So when your kid throws a tantrum or whatever it is for them, has an anxiety moment, we can quickly pull back and be like, what are their social, environmental, and biological stressors that are flaring right now, that are driving this behavior? Because like behavior is driven by something always, right? So what's driving this? Do you want me to talk more about what those are?
Well, I'm just like, I feel like I'm probably wrapping my brain around it. And so, and I love that it's 1, 2, 3. So like my child is in front of me, they're either weeping about something or they're screaming or they're stomping their feet. Yes, different ways of throwing tantrums. And I can be like, like what's the fuel here? 1, 2, 3, social, environmental, biological. Can we have like a concrete example of each one? That'd be
Yeah.
great.
So yeah, a couple would be like, so social stressors are anything to do with relationship, right? So I kind of ground everything that I do in sort of an attachment parenting type of model, where we are creatures of attachment, and kids who don't feel attached or they're at loose ends are going to flail a little bit. So, maybe they don't feel connected to you, or they had a bad experience with their teacher at school, or mom's about to go away on a business trip for 5 days, and so they're feeling that. So that would be kind of a social stressor.
Makes sense. Sure. Like if I've
Yeah.
just yelled at them or they got in a fight with their friend.
Yeah. And then an environmental stressor would be anything to do with the environment that's around them. So that would be like, there's just some kids respond really strongly to too much clutter, or not enough, they don't have their own space, or brash colors, or music, sounds, that kind of stuff can be really influential to some kids who are really sensitive. So that's sort of an example of an environmental stressor. And then the biological stressors are the ones, like, this is the elephant in the room, I think, when it comes to like what you were talking about in terms of like, stressors. And biological stressors are things that are going on inside their bodies that we can't necessarily see, but things like yeast, or food intolerances, or nutritional deficiencies, or hormonal things that are blood sugar instability, that kind of thing.